This is how I book meetings with 8-figure founders. So 8 figures means 10 million and up. I've done it so many times, and I have a full strategy for being able to book meetings with whales. Because when we think about business, okay, when we think about business, who do we want to work with? We want to work with the industry leaders who have the most money, where the LTV will be the absolute highest. Who doesn't want to work with whales? Who doesn't want to work with people that are going to pay you tons of money? We all do, okay? But I don't think there's a definitive strategy to being able to work with whales day in, day out. But I have a full strategy for being able to work with whales. I've done it for myself, and I've also had other people that have implemented my systems and they've had success too. So this entire video is breaking down exactly how you can book meetings with 8-figure founders. So I'm gonna give you the source, okay? Let's go. So before I even show you how I do it, this is the reaction to my outreach, okay? Now, I want you to think, because you should be doing outreach, okay? You should be doing your outreach. What reactions do you have to your outreach? You might get someone say, oh, this is cool. I don't get that. I get people saying, oh, I get people showing their wives. It's not hyperbole. I've literally had people show their wives and their entire family my outreach, okay? So take in the difference and the level that you can take your outreach to. So this is an outreach that I did for someone, an 8-figure founder. And the reaction, this is the person that I outreach to, saying, wow, okay, you got me. And obviously I had a silly response. Very glad I have to jump into active volcano, because I said I'd rather do a backflip into an active volcano than do boring outreach. And then there's other people saying a movie. Oh my gosh, this isn't even relevant to me. I'll watch the whole thing. This guy's willing to do anything. You can see that the reaction's crazy. And then the prospect themselves reposted it. So imagine an outreach so damn good that the person that you literally are trying to pitch to posts your outreach. That's the level that we're playing at here, okay? And that's what I'm trying to teach. Amazing. So this is the prospect, okay? Let's give you some context. Now, with this outreach, as I said before, it's all about working with absolutely massive founders, okay? We're not looking to work with people that are smaller. We're looking to work with the biggest and best businesses that we possibly can, okay? Because if you're gonna put that much time and effort into an outreach, then it needs to be absolutely worth it, okay? And that's what we're doing here. So this gentleman here is a guy called Michel Lieben, and he runs a business called ColdIQ. Very long story, very short, it's a cold email business. But this man has been absolutely killing it on LinkedIn. He just hit 70,000 followers, obviously. And I've been following his content for a while, and I was like, I'd love to work with these guys. And I actually ended up writing to one of his employees whilst living out in Indonesia. And I was like, let me create a crazy outreach for them. So these are the initial challenges, and this is something that you've definitely faced when doing outbound. And this is why I think people don't like outbound in general. So the first one is that the DMs are a wasteland. So how many people do you think are messaging this guy, Michel? You have 70,000 followers on LinkedIn. He's probably being messaged hundreds of times per week, hundreds of times. People pitching him, people trying to get his attention, people asking for a job, people asking for advice. Like, there's so many things that he's probably dealing with in his DMs. So if I'm gonna pitch him and say, hey, I have this YouTube service, he's not gonna care. Or if I have whatever service it may be, this person, just from a mental bandwidth perspective, is not going to be able to respond. Just from a cognitive function perspective, this person is gonna have too much on their plate. And on top of that, this man probably has a romantic life, he has friends, he has hobbies, he has interests outside of his DMs being flooded. So there's the reason why I think why whales don't even respond to a lot of cold outreach is because it is literally not possible. It's literally impossible. So exhaustion. So this kind of leads into my last point, but the same boring pitches, they're already extremely busy, and it's more efficient to ignore 99.9% of pitches. So because he's already running a business doing $10 million a year, it's far simpler and easier to just ignore it and just assume they're all bad and keep doing what you're doing because you're obviously having success. Cool. So what's the solution? The solution is to make a pitch so good that they have to listen, okay? Now, ask yourself this question. I do quite a lot of coaching and outbound in client ascension, also like consulting calls now. If your mum was kidnapped, okay, like seriously ask yourself this question. If your mum was kidnapped and you had to get the attention of a prospect, crazy scenario, what would you do? Personally, I'm getting my mum back, I know that for a fact. So would you do everything humanly possible? You'd fight Prime John Jones to the death to get your mum back. You'd lose, but you'd fight him. Or you'd admit defeat and say, oh, whatever it is. And I put, this ain't even an option, big man. That's not even an option. Now, the answer for all of us, I'd hope, is that we do everything humanly possible to get our mum back. Now, that's a hyperbolic, almost silly, cavalier example. But the point is that we need to get into the mindset of how far can we take our outreach? How far can we take our outbound? What can we do in order to be successful with our outreach efforts? Most people, when they think of outreach, they think automate everything, AI everything. And yes, that will work to get clients in the door, but we're not looking to get clients. We're looking to get whales. We're looking to work with 8-figure business owners only. They're easy to get results for, they're nicer to work with, they pay you more, they're better social proof. And by every conceivable metric, they're better. So if we could just work with whales, we should, okay? So that's why I want to remove the thinking of automation. That's not what we're supposed to do. We are supposed, in this context, we're supposed to think, what can we do to get this person's attention, okay? So let's apply the same logic without our mothers at risk, okay? Cool. So this is my outreach to him, and I want to break down how I was able to make this outreach and why it worked so well. Excuse me. There we go. So, first and foremost, what we've done here is this is the 21st Century Fox opener that will be on movies. I'm a huge movie fan, if you can't tell. So I'm applying the tactic of something novel, something fun, something unique. And that's one of the biggest points when it comes to outbound. In fact, I actually want to explain this point first, okay? When you do outreach, the two things that you have to, under all circumstances, is you have to highlight your expertise and you have to highlight and you have to get their attention, okay? So the only reason why someone wouldn't respond or someone wouldn't care about your outreach is because you're not hitting one of the two things. Expert, you're either not highlighting you're an expert or you're not getting their attention. In order for your outbound to work, we have to do both. Otherwise, they won't pay you money. Nobody's paying money to somebody that they don't think has expertise, and you can't pay someone money unless you gain their attention. So the attention is a prerequisite, and the expertise is a prerequisite, okay? So with these superlooms or these outreach that I do, the first barrier, the first hurdle that I must work through is by getting their attention, okay? And I am on a get their attention by any means necessary, okay? Then once I've got their attention, then I can highlight my expertise, okay? So the reason why I do this over the top show is because it leads to attention, okay? Attention, believe it or not, is probably the most important thing when it comes to outreach. And then expertise is second, all right? If you were to pitch Alex Hormozy or Elon Musk or whoever it may be, the most difficult thing to do would be to get their attention because their attention, their focus is so limited, it's spread so thin. So getting their undivided attention is a valuable currency. And that's why we do this show, because I need to gain their attention. Once I've got their attention, then I can talk my expertise, okay? Very important. I'm loving this, man. I love talking about outbound. Amazing. So that's why we do this first, okay? Okay, you three. I've gathered you here today because we need to make the best outreach of all time for ColdIQ, specifically the CEO, Michel. Okay, what you boys got? I just have one. Okay, cool. So here you can see, this is something I love doing. I love duplicating myself 3 times. Now, what I'm doing here, this is the hook. I'm making it all about the prospect. I've said his name. I've said we need to make the best outreach of all time. I'm talking to myself. I'm making it fun. I'm making it interactive. what this is again doing is this is attention. They have to keep watching. They're intrigued. It's like the finale of not Game of Thrones. It's like the finale of, oh gosh, if I had a good finale. Breaking Bad was pretty good. So it's like the finale of Breaking Bad, or maybe The Sopranos. In fact, that finale sucks. But it's a finale of a great movie, okay? Or a great TV show. You're hooked, okay? We need to hook their attention. So that's what this is all
question,
about.
Please. Sure. What's your question? Who are these people? Who? You don't know the scene.
I said who because of the Snoop Dogg meme.
Who?
But here, all I'm doing is I'm just having fun with it. And I think in Outbound, the ability to, or I should say, the concept of having fun, being creative and being yourself is heavily underutilized. In the outbound market, especially as AI has come over, people are not allowing their personality to shine through. Well, I do the opposite. I want my personality to shine through in my content. I want it to shine through in my outbound. Personality is one of the most underrated aspects of selling and building a business, because people want to work with people. Even if you automate a process 400 times with AI, ultimately, if there's 50 people automating a process with AI and one person has a strong personal brand and I have a parasocial relationship with them and I feel like I like them, I promise you I'm gonna go to them every time. And there's a bunch of other faceless people. I'll go to the person with the strongest personal brand. So that's why I allow my personality to come through, okay? And you can utilize this in your outbound. It can be as simple as being a little bit more silly in your emails. Writing, like, sometimes when I respond to a prospect, I'll put ha 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 ha. I'll literally respond to them as if I'm texting. And that's because human beings want to work with human beings who are likable and cool. Being cool is actually a tactic.
Cool. Yo, ColdIQ, okay. Harry Mason. Okay, we met Harry Mason. We spoke to Harry. Sorry, remember him? Clearly have a low eye. I've been looking at his LinkedIn quite a lot. And obviously he's from Europe. Okay, here we go. And with his name, I'm pretty sure he's French. I mean, are you sure? You sure he's from France? That could be cool, that could be fun. Maybe we even fly there, maybe we could do that. Okay, that's what we'll do then. We will go to France. We're going all the way to France, we're gonna shoot it there. All right, let's get it. We made it all the way to France.
Cool, so now I'm in France. Now, the point of this outreach was that I was actually going skiing with my family. We were going to France, we're going to Les Deux Alpes in France. Now, this guy that I was reaching out to is Belgian, not French. But the gag was that we're in France, we flew all the way to France for him, but he's actually Belgian, and I'm gonna say that in a second. But the point is that you can honestly do whatever you want for your creative outbound and when you're doing something interesting and fun for a prospect. As long as you relate it to the prospect, that's all that matters, okay? So my one was skiing because I went skiing with my family, simple as that.
Now, okay? Okay, boss, there is a slight issue. There is something I should probably tell you. What have you? What? Well, when we were back home, I was trying to tell you that he wasn't French and that he was actually Belgian. What do you mean? And lives in Spain. So you're telling me I threw all three of you idiots here? Oh my gosh, you know what? You're fired. You're off the team. I'm tired of you. Okay, well, whilst we're here, how about we utilize the mountain and make a super cool video with a fun hook and make it super cinematic. How does that sound? Okay, I like that. You know what? That's what we'll do. Let's hit it. Let's make this the best outreach they've ever seen in their life.
Okay, cool. So what I'm about to do here is I created just a fun montage. Honestly, this is because this is actually a Freddie Gibbs song. It's a rap song I really enjoy, and I wanted to create outreach around it. But again, all this is just grabbing their attention and having fun. That's literally what it is. I'm just having fun. And so it's me skiing. That's my best friend. Got the drone out. My brother.
ColdIQ! We decided to do something absolutely absurd for you. Creating the best outreach you've ever seen and frankly will ever see in your life. After spending God knows how many hours researching your content, funnel and business as a whole, we come up with a full plan to scale you to 10 million ARR. This entire video is breaking down just that. And yes, I am skiing right now. That's the kind of outreach that we do, baby. Let's go. Now first you
Okay, cool. So That's just an introduction. I did the introduction while skiing because again, it's attention grabbing. It's remarkable. Now, ultimately, once you've grabbed their attention, you do have to explain the value proposition, your expertise. You have to highlight that you are an expert and that you know what you're talking about. And that's what this section is about. But you can still make it fun. It doesn't have to be boring. And that's why I did it while skiing. What are you more likely to respond to? A random cold email that's generic, or somebody on skis that's holding a very heavy camera going, ColdIQ, we did this for you. You're obviously going to respond to the person that went full psycho. That's why I did this. And then here, what I'm doing in this video is I'm breaking down all the different, how do I phrase this? All the different reasons why this should work with me. So I like to start with current situation and then future situation, classic sales.
We're thinking, who the hell am I? And why did I reach out to you specifically? Very, very fair questions. So my name is Dan James and I've helped countless entrepreneurs.
So here I'm just introing myself, explaining who I am, and because they're thinking, who the hell is this random man on skis? That's the first thing I'm doing. And then after that, I'm just getting to the value proposition.
And you just hit 7 million ARR, which is of course awesome. But in terms of long form content, you guys seem to be allergic to it, which I don't know why, because your expertise is so high. So it makes a ton of sense to share all the things that you know. And of course, your ICP is on long form. So that's where we see a massive opportunity. Now, the most likely reason why you're not...
So what I've done here is I've explained, you guys are doing very well, you're scaling to 7 million ARR, but you don't post any long form content. Why is this? And I'm explaining why they need to be doing it. It's a value proposition. And then from there, I'm just going into further reasons. I think that the key thing I've learned with this creative outbound is that it's all about grabbing their attention and then explaining why it makes sense. It's very, very simple. It doesn't have to be, too crazy.
Posting weekly is time. I mean, there is so much that goes into a successful content strategy. It's literally absurd. That's why so many entrepreneurs have us do all the hard work for them. They don't need to be focused on scripting and building out the strategy. They can focus on other parts of the business. And even if a small part of you thinks, oh my days, I just can't be bothered to make content.
I think another key point is that, and you can see here, I've said this before, but let your personality through. You don't want to be robotic, be yourself, okay? That means if you curse in real life, curse in your content. It will deter some people, but it will attract the people that will want to work with you. I think it's important to allow your authenticity to shine through, because people can feel that's congruent, okay? That's why I wear a vest in my content, because I don't care myself, all right?
I completely understand where you're coming from, but all of the biggest B2B entrepreneurs are putting more time, energy, money, and effort into making content than ever. Look at Jeremy Haynes, look at Hormozy, look at the biggest B2B brands. They're churning out content tons. And with your expertise, there is literally no way that you shouldn't have a YouTube channel like Instantly, like Matt Lucero. You should be dominating the GT.
So what I've done there is I've used a competitor to bolster my argument. So I've said there's other people in the same space as you, they're smashing it. Why aren't you smashing it? You have high expertise. It's just arguments. It's simply arguments for your point. That's literally what we're doing here. Amazing. And if we look forward,
and a lot of your ICP are using
what we're
the
doing
same
here
you guys. So firstly, what we could do is we could make a video about how cold email has changed in 2026. As you guys know, the landscape is forever changing. And a lot of your ICP...
What we're doing here very simply is we are, what's the phraseology? We are giving some strategy. It's important to be able to explain why your opportunity makes sense and then give them some source. Highlight that you actually know what you're talking about. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just saying, this could work for you, this could work for you, this could work for you. And what I'm saying in particular doesn't matter too much. It's just having them go, oh, this guy does know what he's talking about. That's the box that we're ticking there.
Also using the same tactics that worked in 2021 and they're not keeping up with the times. A video breaking down what works now, today in 2026 would absolutely smash it for you guys. Secondly, we can make a video nice, full, because we're providing
of client ascension, the third biggest critic. But don't worry, before we talk, I'll send you all of our social proof. Amazing. And then before you close off, highlight your social proof, okay? People want to know, even though you've psychotically done an outreach, people want to know that you've actually been able to drive results for other people. That's pivotal, okay? And then you end it.
But the overarching point is I want to be your content partner and scale you to 10 million ARR and beyond. My team and I will do absolutely everything to make sure that you win, including making the best outreach you've ever seen. With all that being said, send me your login details. We have so much work to do.
Amazing. And when you end on the CTA, end with an aggressive CTA if you've done all this work. Say to the person, we're going to do everything required to make sure that you win. And if you've done an outreach this good, it's very, very believable. So this outreach that I've done has worked so incredibly well. And if we go back up top, this was his reaction to it. His reaction was, wow, okay, you got me, let's chat. And I think being able to sign, or I should say, book meetings with 8-figure founders and then eventually sign them is invaluable to absolutely every single business. And this is the exact system that I've used to sign whales. I'm going to continue to use it to sign whales, and my clients are going to sign whales by using this. And every other outreach system fails because it doesn't grab attention like this one does. And that's why this is frankly the best outreach in the game. So yeah, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you for the next one.